The Iraqi army has recaptured the western city of Ramadi from Islamic State after a week-long operation. Soldiers raised the national flag in the city centre. Now, ISIL occupied Ramadi back in May. After weeks of intense fighting, large parts of the city are now in ruin. Washington has said it will continue to provide financial support to help Iraq rebuild and restore security. The announcement was made at a State Department briefing. Although no specific figures were given, the statement has raised some questions.
The U.S. government has spent quite a lot of money in Iraq over quite a long period of time to try to promote stability. Why should anyone believe that U.S. money will be decisive or significant or even influential at all in the current circumstance when the money spent in the past didn't necessarily maintain stability?
Sure. This has been an iterative process, and in many respects, certainly on our part, learning how to effectively work with local governments, local leadership, to bring back stability, to create security and a secure environment for the local populations.
Iraq has been one of the main recipients of U.S. aid since the 2003 invasion. Billions of dollars were spent on rebuilding the country and funding the war itself following the military intervention. Despite all efforts, United Nations statistics show that the situation in Iraq remains worrying years after the conflict. The information suggests millions of people are still suffering from water shortages and poor sanitation, while many need urgent food aid and many have also been forced to flee their homes. Political expert Derek Monroe thinks that continued foreign funding will simply fuel further corruption.
Well, I think the classical definition of insanity is basically doing the same thing over and over again, and each time, expect a different result. It's been a failure not only in Iraq but Afghanistan, and recently the issues with the Free Syrian Army as well. So I think it's not going to make a difference. It's going to further the corruption within not only Iraqi government but also within our own armed forces that are originally going to be providing the trainers as well as the private contractors. So I think it's really a road to nowhere. And also, people don't realize a lot of money which is being appropriated by Congress for any kind of help to Iraqis, Afghanis, or anybody else for that matter is usually appropriated to the private contractors, so that actually dollars do not leave the United States. They stay here at home.